My goal is simple. I have until the end of 2025 to finish my backlog, and if I don't, I'll get a platinum tattoo somewhere on my body, and you guys get to vote where it goes. But here's the twist. For every 100 subscribers we gain, I'll add another platinum onto the backlog. Currently, we have 22 games on our backlog, but because we've already gained 300 subscribers, I thought it'd be nice and add 3 extra games to the list, which are Split Fiction, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. So the game we're playing this week is Hotline Miami. This game has 18 bronzes, 11 silvers and 5 gold trophies on the way to our platinum. It's rated a 5 out of 10 difficulty and should take approximately 10 hours. But skill issue for me because I've never played a game like this before and at first I completely sucked. The steps are super straightforward in this one. Firstly, we'll complete the game and get our collectibles. Step 2 is the horrible A+ levels, which is where the difficult part comes into this game. And finally, step 3 for all the cleanup trophies. So Hotline Miami story wise is a pretty simple game. You basically play as a character who wakes up every morning to a phone call asking him to go to different places and fighting tons of gang members. But where the story isn't very exciting, the gameplay is absolutely crazy. Mainly because the music in this game is actually awesome and the combat is just completely different to anything I've ever experienced before. And to top it off, there's only 2 collectibles we need to get, which is these little blue dots on the ground and then these masks, which for the most part we get from just completing the missions, but some can be found on the ground. So the first mission is really a tester for what's to come, because you see this little shit score. Well, I basically need to double that target score to achieve an A+ rank. But more on that horse shit later. For now, let's just enjoy the game and get used to the mechanics. And finally, a couple of missions later, we get our first trophy for performing a 4 KO spree. And not too long after, in the exact same spot, because of course I die a lot, another trophy for performing a 6 KO spree. And then on the very next mission, we pop another trophy for using a gang member as a human shield. And shortly after that, we pop another trophy for hitting an enemy with a weapon by bouncing it off a wall. We then get a kinda boss fight, which caused me a little bit of a problem because I had no idea what I was meant to be doing. But turns out you're meant to bait out his machete throw and then run up and hit him with a golf club. And finally, after we do that twice, we defeat him. We then pop a trophy for throwing a weapon at an enemy and then their weapon hits another person. But I didn't even do that because I just shot them. But okay, it's a trophy I guess. After a couple of missions, I'm really starting to feel the difficulty, especially on this section here where I'm about to finish this mission, but this car comes flying through the door. And then Molotovs are just thrown at me constantly. So I did what all pro gamers do and cheesed the fuck out of this by hiding in a corner. I then KO'd the dude who was throwing the Molotovs at me by setting him on fire. Yeah, this game is kinda crazy. So when I go back to my house, I'm shot by this dude wearing a rat mask and then I respawn as a ghost. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I then wake up inside a hospital after somehow surviving and make my escape out of a window. Now this is where the difficulty really starts to ramp up. After getting out of the hospital, we go to the police station to go on a killing spree, and this mission for me was by far the hardest. There's so many enemies in a small area, all with guns, it's annoying as f***. But eventually we make it through the police station, after multiple deaths of course, and find the dude who tried to kill us earlier. So after beating him up a little bit, he tells us he has also been getting the phone calls, and the police have a file with information on it. Not gonna lie, trying to understand the lore of this game is like playing Kingdom Hearts on acid. So from what I can tell, the people on the phone giving the gang kill orders are the bad guys and we were set up by them, which is why this guy tries to kill us. So now we go to hunt them down. So back at our house, we read the files in the gang that was giving us the phone calls, which is some underground mafia and also the location of where they're hiding, so you know what we have to do next. If you guessed us dying multiple times again, then you was right. But actually this time I didn't die nearly as much, so you could say I'm a pro gamer now. Anyway, we find the boss of the place, but he says he just runs the club and gives us the location of the big don of the mafia. Then we beat him up for good measure. The next level just has us defeating a boss, which wasn't as hard as the other levels because all we needed to do was fight his 2 pet panthers and then some female bodyguard. And then finally the boss, who I somehow cheesed because all his bullets just shot through me, so this was just super easy to do. So after defeating him, we finally find the old man that I guess is the leader of the mafia, and we pop diddly-do him and then go for a smoke on the balcony. And that's the main story done, and I pop a trophy for it. We then get this side story, who if you remember from earlier, the dude with the machete that we killed, well it's him and it's his side of the story. His levels are just super easy because you could just fly around with machete, and I actually pop a trophy for getting my first A+. We then go to the call center, which is where the character should die, but this time we kill the other character from earlier. Yeah, this shit is confusing. Anyway, we go to the next location and find the actual people behind the phone calls, which turns out they were just playing a game and messing with the people. So we kill them, and then that's finally the story part of this game done. But I still have so many questions. I have no idea what's just happened. We then pop another trophy for completing the epilogue mission. Now I go back through some of the early levels to get some of the collectibles I missed, and whilst doing that, I pop a trophy for killing 1,989 enemies. And then another trophy for killing 99 dogs, poor things. And finally, I collect the last blue dot. And once I finish the mission, I pop a trophy for collecting all of them. So the blue dots are actually puzzle pieces, and we use them to spell out the word "I was born in the USA", which pops us another trophy. So on to the last collectible now, which is the masks. And whilst collecting one, I pop a trophy for finding Jones the Crocodile's mask. And at the end screen, we pop another trophy for unlocking all the weapons. Then shortly after, whilst trying to get a mask on the police station, I go on a crazy killing spree and pop 3 trophies. So the first one is for earning an 8 times combo, the second for a 10 times combo, and finally the third for a 12 times combo. And then we get another trophy for destroying 200 glass windows. I then pop yet another trophy for getting the secret ending, which I unlocked for finishing the puzzle from earlier and then completing the last mission again. And then finally, the trophy for collecting all the masks. Now on to step 2, the dreaded A+ levels, which realistically wasn't so bad when I realised the mask which gives us a drill is the best, because doing a drill takedown gives you lots of points. So basically, you just cheese the game with this. So of course, whilst I was going for this, I died an ungodly amount of times. And I died that many times, I actually pop a trophy on my 1000th death. And then I pop another trophy for going to the car 60 times. I then pop a trophy for using every gun at least once. And here it is, the mission that caused me the absolute most trouble, the police station one. Because just like before, that first area just has so much going on, and trying to do the drill takedown was difficult as fuck. But I learned that if you draw them into this room, you can take them out one by one. So after hours of attempts at this shit, we get that beautiful A+, and the rest should be a breeze from here, hopefully. And it actually was, because all I had left was mission 14, which I did like second try, and then boom, our trophy for getting the A+, thank fuck this is done. So now we're on to the final step, which is step 3, which is the easy part of this game, but it does have some semi-grindy trophies I guess. So first up is a trophy for completing chapter 5 barehanded, which after that dreadful A+ experience, I was actually a pro at this game by now and did this easy. Next I start the final boss fight mission, because if I kill the 2 panthers whilst wearing Brandon's mask, I'll pop a trophy for it. Now onto a very annoying trophy, which is for completing mission 2 whilst wearing Nigel the Bat's mask, which basically makes the controls inverted, annoying and super confusing to use, which you can tell by how stupid I move. But I eventually get to the finish line and pop the trophy by sheer luck. Next I start chapter 6, because in this mission there's a character on the toilet, and if we kill him with a fire axe, we'll pop a trophy. I then go for 2 trophies, which is for killing 2 enemies with the same brick in one throw, and then another trophy for killing 3 enemies with the same brick in one throw. Another kind of annoying one was for using all the melee weapons, which confused me because I didn't even know I needed to use a pot which had boiling water inside. But finally, after throwing that on an enemy, we pop the trophy. Next is a trophy for throwing all the weapons at least once, which you'll see for the next 2 trophies I do, I load up chapter 5 and keep respawning in the same area until I find the weapon I need. The throwing one wasn't actually that bad because I had most of them done anyway. But next is a trophy for performing every ground kill, which I had no idea what I was missing, but turns out it was just the fire axe. And then I saved a nice easy one for last, which is for wearing all the masks at least once. And there it is, our platinum, let's go. To be honest, I'm actually really glad I played this game. It was definitely different to what I normally play, and it was a little bit of a challenge, but nothing too crazy, so I would definitely recommend playing it. Thank you if you made it this far, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and join the Discord. Peace.